In the deserts of Iran lie the silent ruins of Susa, once the heart of a forgotten power. Here, priests and priestesses once called upon Inshushinak, guardian god of Elam. Scribes recorded their language, unlike any Semitic or Indo-European tongue. Kings like Shutrukid once ruled here, their power reaching far beyond these walls. Elam's warriors stood ready, their bronze shields pounding like thunder. Among their treasures lay spoils from mighty Babylon itself. To the west, Babylon watched closely, rival and target alike. Who were the Elamites, and why did history try to erase them? On the fertile plains of Susiana, the roots of Elam began to grow. The Zagros highlands gave them stone, pasture, and natural defenses. The Karun River became their lifeline, carrying grain and goods through the land. High in Anshan, strongholds guarded their mountain domain. Susa's markets bustled with traders, colors, and voices. Here they worshipped Inshushinak, protector of the city. From metal and fire, artisans forged weapons and tools. Clay became art, storage, and symbol of daily life. Weavers' hands shaped colors into cloth for nobles and trade. Messages on horseback linked highland and plain. From Mesopotamia, caravans brought goods and ideas. Elam stood at the crossroads of Mesopotamia and the highlands. In desert camps, Elamites and Sumerians broke bread together. Bronze weapons gave Elam strength against rivals.
Alliances were struck, binding cities and neighbors together.
From fertile plains and highland fortresses, a civilization prepared to rise. Elam. The first dynasty of Awan rose among the hills, forging the path of kings. Elam was no single kingdom, but a confederation of city-states. In Shimashki, highland chiefs guarded their rugged independence. Across valleys and plains, the Elamites bound their cities in shifting alliances.
Feasts and wine sealed agreements between rival clans. Heralds announced decrees that bound cities under common rule.
The Elamites wrote in a script that was theirs alone, neither Semitic nor Indo-European. Side by side with Sumer, their words spoke with a different voice.
Children learn to carve their heritage into clay.
Their caravans carried goods and influence into Mesopotamia. In Babylon, Elamite traders bargained with the great river people. Back in the highlands, their wealth flowed homeward.
Smiths turned mountain ore into weapons and prestige goods.
But unity was fragile, their councils often divided.
Envoys traveled into the mountains, forging ties with tribes.
Train carried culture as much as goods.
Festivals bound their people through rhythm and fire. Messages sped across valleys, binding cities together.
In Susa, the Confederation showed its face in splendor.
United yet divided, Elam forged a culture and a language unlike any other.
The Sukkalmah dynasty brought Elam into its golden age.
Nobles gathered in courtyards to honor their monarch. Susa grew into a city of life and color. Palaces rose under the relentless sun of Elam. At Susa, temples honored their gods with fire and song. Ziggurats rose, bridging earth and heaven. In their forges, bronze was beaten into power and beauty. Gold and lapis spoke of wealth and divine favor. Walls came alive with lions, kings, and gods.
Their language was carved into clay and memory.
They borrowed from Mesopotamia, yet remained distinct.
Then came Shutrukid, whose ambition shook Babylon itself.
His armies armed themselves for conquest. The road to Babylon shook under Elamite feet.
Babylon stood mighty, but it would fall.
They stormed the walls with fury and fire. Babylon's streets echoed with Elamite victory.
Even the god of Babylon was taken to Elam.
The laws of Hammurabi now stood in Susa's halls. They carried gods and laws across the desert sands.
In Susa, the spoils of Babylon proclaimed Elam's triumph.
At their peak, the Elamites rivaled empires and carried Babylon's pride back to Susa.
Elam's armies marched westward, challenging Babylon.
Babylon's walls bristled with archers and spears.
At Babylon's gates, the struggle was fierce and bloody.
Babylon struck back, and neither side claimed clear victory.
Battles left fields of the dead, but no lasting peace. Then came Assyria, under the iron hand of Ashurbanipal. Assyria's armies advanced, unstoppable and relentless. Susa prepared for its greatest trial. The walls shook
as iron clashed with bronze.
Assyria's ram smashed the very heart of Susa. The conquerors poured into the sacred city.
Flames consumed homes and families alike.
Even their gods were dragged into exile.
Ashurbanipal declared Elam erased from history. Their words turned to dust in the flames. Once proud Susa was reduced to ashes.
Survivors wandered amid ruins, their future shattered. Elam's strength withered as fields turned barren. Their fortresses stood hollow, nearly abandoned.
And in the west, Persia was rising.
By 539 BCE, Persia marched upon Elam's ashes.
Elam bowed to the rising empire of Persia.
Crushed by Assyria and swallowed by Persia, Elam's flame ended in fire and silence.
From ashes, Elam's legacy was reborn in Persia.
Under Cyrus, Susa rose again as a royal city.
Specifically, Cyrus made Susa, Thifa, the beating heart of his empire.
Elamite became one of the three tongues of empire.
Records were carved in Old Persian, Akkadian, and Elamite.
Darius carved his triumphs in three tongues, Elamite among them. Persian art bore the mark of Elamite craftsmen. Their metalwork endured in the palaces of Persia. Even divine symbols of Elam found place in Persian shrines. Susa became the empire's ledger, written in Elamite hands. Wealth of nations passed through Susa's treasuries. Ceremonies blended Persian rule with Elamite traditions.
Darius ruled from Susa, jewel of his dominion.
Empire decrees bore the imprint of Elam's language. Artisans wove Elamite skill into Persian grandeur.
Life in Susa thrived, Persian and Elamite side by side.
Elders whispered Elam's tongue to the next generation.
This means tree.
Tree.
Though conquered, Elam's spirit lived on, woven into the empire of Persia. Elam's cities crumbled, yet memory lingered in stone.
Their words remained, carved into clay and time.
Elam's art and spirit flowed into Persia's grandeur.
Under Persian rule, Susa pulsed with new life.
Across the plateau, Persia carried Elam within its core. Elam was not erased. It became the hidden foundation of Persia.